All right, guys. So this week we learned another lesson, and we're going to pass it on to you guys. Easy Tuesday morning tech tip with Pugliese Speed Shop. All right, guys. So we weren't trying to learn anything. We were trying to just do a simple thing, a quick favor, but you know how it goes, right? So yeah, we got a new addition to the shop. Not planned at all, and clearly not what we usually mess with, right? So that's my sister's 2014 Ford Escape. Good running vehicle, 70 something thousand miles. She's had it for years, and yeah, it's been good, right? The power window, the on the driver's side there, only in the winter, right? It would come down and go up super slow, and every time, she'd like roll through a Starbucks or something. She wasn't sure if it was coming back up. I told her the best way to fix that is not go to Starbucks. She doesn't want to take my advice. So for her birthday, I bought her a new power window, the whole shooting match, right? Because these things, it comes with the regulator and everything all in one. Her birthday's in May, all right? Between her living in New York and me living down here, the whole thing, Christmas came, she drove the car down. I said, hey, I'll throw the thing in, bring it in the shop. This is when things went terribly awry. We thought we were more than prepared, right? I mean, we had the box. Yeah, pay no attention to the parts there. We had a box with all the stuff in it. Not a problem. I watched the video, right? So I was clearly prepared for all this. Guess what I wasn't prepared for? There are two different types. I don't know how you would know this unless, like, you're a Ford engineer. One of them, like, you click the button and then you click it again and it goes all the way down, like every new car, right? Newer car. Or there's Ford has a one-touch, anti-pinch, yada yada, ramalama ding dong thing. I don't know what the hell it is, but it sucks and nobody tells you about it, right? Apparently, the only way you'd know your vehicle has this is by the VIN. Now, I get that when I'm messing with something like this guy. The VIN will tell me like all the cool stuff, like what had a 409 in it or something like that. But who gives a damn about your power window button? Ridiculous stuff in new cars. This is, you guys can just roll back to my other videos about how I feel about newer cars. So, as luck would have it, you have one that has 2 pins and one that has 6 pins. Her car has 2 pins. Any guess to which one we got? Right. We got the one with 6 pins. Now, wouldn't be a big deal if it wasn't like 4 degrees out. We decided to do it on Christmas Day. Maybe not our smartest thing. And when we took the old one apart, you can't see it, guys. That's the thing. The connector is the only difference. And you can't see the connector until you pull the thing out. And as most things, she didn't come out well. You know what I'm saying? Like, plastic clips were broken and things like that, which we weren't worried about because I had the thing sitting right here. So I thought. All right, so here's the one that came out. And actually it's not as broken as it may seem, but this little guy is supposed to be on there. So it broke coming out. It's plastic crap, right? So now we do have the right one. And it was kind of funny because this looked like the wrong one. Because if you see this, it's like permanently mounted on there, where this one has a pigtail. But connector is exactly the same, right there and right there. So after 2 days of running around, we're all set there. Now we just got to put it in here. All right, guys, so me and my brother Joe were down here working on the car, and my sister, I guess she texted, or my mother texted or something, and we didn't answer, so they figured out something was going wrong. So my sister came down to the shop and said, hey, yeah, we didn't hear from you. Is everything okay? And we're like, well. So then, guys, she pinpointed the problem. And she's not a mechanic or nothing, right? But she's like, Chaz, you got this whole board, and like my car is not even on it. So how could you possibly know what to do? You nailed it, Dev. So took care of that. She's on the board. Everything should go flawless. All right, guys, you know what? I think she might have been onto something. Because the second I put that task on the board, everything went like butter, you know? I mean, just smooth. We got her all back together. And let's fire this bad dog up and see how it works. We get the fancy little one touch there. Look at that, huh? All right. Now back up. That might be record time. So it's all back together. I can, well, I guess I'll get this thing back to her. Oh man, before I forget, we're gonna go over here and take care of this, you know? So we got it right here on the board. She figured it out, guys. Make the window work. It works. So, done. All right, guys, what did we learn? I learned a couple things. I learned that my disdain for working on newer cars has not changed. I learned that getting the wrong part from a local auto parts store will continue to happen. And most importantly, I think I might have learned, don't do something on Christmas Day when your sister needs to leave at 6 o'clock the next morning. And there's a chance. Now, see, here's what. I didn't think there was a chance it wasn't going to get fixed. I've changed hundreds of these things, and I've never had a problem, right? On my Jeep, I did, the connector was different. Similar, not the 6-pin difference like this thing was, but they only make them for like the newer ones, like the 96 and newer Jeeps, the XJs, right, where they kind of change just a little bit, change the body style, but it's the same window, same door, all that. It is a different switch, so the connector is different. Wasn't a big deal. All I did was, there was still 2 wires. I just took the connector off of the Jeep and, you know, put it on the new one, and I was good to go. And don't think for a second, I wasn't looking at that 6-pin connector like, could I kind of repin this, or could I splice? And because I did. Luckily, I didn't try that because it wouldn't have worked. This is one of those things that if you don't know what you don't know, right? Because I went to the auto parts store. I ordered make, model, year, all that. They needed to know what size engine was in it. That did not help this problem. So the only way, and maybe if they had a note in their computer system, like, does your VIN start with, like, I think it was an N or an X, and that would tell you, or end with it or something. But it was in there. It was, that's the only way I would know. Nobody asked me that question. I didn't think to ask that question. So there you go. But it's funny. We came down here, and my brother even said, hey, you going to make a video on this? And I said, nah, man. He said, yo, you going to turn the heat on? And I said, nah, because you know what? By the time this place actually warms up, we're going to be done. And it ain't even a big deal. Never should have said that. But honestly, once I had the right part, it fell right back together. It wasn't a big deal because, like I said, I've done tons of them. It just goes back to, I guess you can never do enough research. And I mean, I know I watched videos I actually did research on this. Let me watch the video, see how hard it is. And I'll put the video in the description. Well, the kid would. Well, you guys know I don't do that stuff. But he never mentioned it either. So now when I went back and watched it again and looked at the comments, somebody did mention that. And I mentioned it, and I said, hey, man, you might want to, put something up in your video about this. So maybe he's updated, I don't know. But it was a good video, except for it didn't mention that. Like I said, the motor's behind the bar. You can't see it until you pull it out, and, these plastic clips, they get brittle and whatnot. So, what are you going to do? Good thing is it's all done. She'll be all set. And now I get to drive up to PA to drop it off, which luckily it worked out. Like my brother was also down visiting, so he was able to drive her back up there, and so it worked out, right? And I get to see my mom again, so and my sister. So there you go, win-win, and that's that. But if you guys take anything away from this, I think the biggest thing is you can never do too much research. Thanks for watching, guys.